Good evening, good evening. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. What's up? What's up? Definitely appreciate y'all joining on this Sunday afternoon. Today is Sunday, June the 15th, 2025. We are beginning a new week. A lot of distractions going on, a lot of new developments, always progress out here in these streets. If you're watching live, I got this live stream pulled up from Is It Real or Israel. Got this live stream. I think a few hours ago they was taking impact. So I was like watching this live feed and see if I could see something live. But I appreciate y'all joining. What's up, Texas Plates? What's up, Texas Plates? Shout out to you. Appreciate y'all joining. If you're just joining, man, make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the link to the video. And if you're interested in signing up to the Patreon, sign up to the Patreon. The link is in the description. What's up, Daryl? Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate you joining. But how's everybody doing on this Sunday afternoon? Everybody relaxing. Happy Father's Day as well. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We are definitely the men, it's men pretty much, we're the leaders of the world. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're the leaders of the world. So, men go to war, men build, and we're living in some strange times, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to being men. But definitely shout out to the men and the fathers out there. Shout out to the fathers. I know I got a male-dominated channel. Most of the people, it's like 99% of my subscribers are men. So shout out to us, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the women as well. But shout out to the men in the building. Let me get a quick roll call. Y'all shout out where y'all from, city, state, country, region, whatever y'all want to shout out. Go ahead and shout that out. I want to see who all is in the building. I want to see if anybody from Israel is in the building. We got a lot of talk. We got a lot going on that's going to be impacting the markets. Have y'all noticed that gas prices are pretty much going up because of what's going on in the Middle East? Have y'all taken notice to the gas prices starting to rise? We're going to go over that in the markets here in a minute. What's up, Mudvayne? Appreciate you joining, man. You from the hometown. I'm not from Baton Rouge, but you from the home state, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So shout out to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Anybody else in the building? Y'all shout that out. Y'all shout out where y'all from. City, state, country, region, whatever y'all want to shout out. But we got a lot to talk about. Not too much, but, a lot of things impacting markets. We got a lot of conflict. I find this war, I think this is like, there's no turning back from this one. That's my honest opinion. What y'all think in the chat? Shout out to LA. Shout out to you, Daryl. Shout out to LA, California in the building. What's the news in LA, Daryl? How is the rioting? What the riots are looking like out there? Are they still going hard like there was a week or two ago? Or is it more calmed down now that the Marines are out there? Let me know. Shout out to New York in the building. I've seen that they're starting to pick up rioting in New York. So we got a lot of major distractions going on out there in the universe. But shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to each one of these places. Shout out to each one of these places. But let's do a quick review on the markets right quick. Let me exit out of this. We're going to come back. This is Twitch, by the way. I'm thinking about going to Twitch as well. I'm thinking about starting the live stream on Twitch. I'm not going to go too hard over there because Twitch is more for, like, from what I understand, financial news and financial information and crypto. It's a wide open lane over there on Twitch. So I'm thinking about going to Twitch and doing some live streaming as well, along with YouTube. But I'm mainly going to be on YouTube. What's up, Daryl? You said, nah, more calm down. So you saying it's calm down now, likely due to the Marines and the National Guard presence and having a curfew. That's what I'm saying. So like, getting paid to ride that's what I believe. I think they out there getting paid to go out there and ride. But when it comes to boots on the ground, Marines and National Guard, I don't think it's worth taking the money at that point to ride and tear shit up. It's not even worth it because you can be shot, you can be detained. So it's not even worth it at that point. But that's good news. People more calm down. So by you saying that it's more calm down in LA, I'm thinking it's going to pretty much, the narrative in the news is going to kind of switch away from the riots and ICE and all that. So we might be entering a new news cycle. And I think it's more going to be revolved around United States getting involved in the Israel and Iran conflict. DH, you said, yep, I seen some videos about being paid $200 for a ride. Yeah, that ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth it, especially in LA, in the California area. You know what I'm saying? $200. Can you go outside without spending $200 per day in LA? When you go outside, you're going to spend over $200 per day in LA. So paying me $200 to ride and potentially going to jail, I don't think it's worth it. Texas Plates. You said, I'm going to try to get my ladies to get her note paid for day trading cash. She been down since her coins long-term bags. LOL. You know how you get high off them pumps, then they could go for 2 weeks, months. So you're pretty much saying, Texas Plates, that you're trying to get your girl to start day trading. Hey, that's a way to pretty much build that capital back up. That's another way to build that capital back up. But yeah, I appreciate y'all joining, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me, subscribe, share the video, share that link, share that video. Oh, if you're interested in trading, so Texas Plates, I don't know if you know, or I don't know if you've been catching the live streams or whatnot. I got my signal service coming, so it's not live. I'm trying to work out some finishing touches on it. It's going live soon. But here in about a week, maybe by the end of the month, I'm going to be launching my signal service over on Patreon, where I got different tiers. So click the link in the description if y'all are interested. Click that link in the description and figure out which tier that you would like to join if you're interested. But be on the lookout for that. Also, I got my lessons as well if you want to learn the basics to technical analysis. But let's go ahead and come over here. Let me see right quick. What is this? Okay, I'm over here on the crypto matrix, so I'm gonna review a few prices. I'm gonna go over some prices right quick. Texas Plates, you said she was high when it was pumping, but then the shit been chilling. She back to reality. Yeah, for sure. It is a high. It is it does touch your receptors, like, you know, it is definitely a high. That's what I'm trying to say. You definitely can get high on this. So let's come to the markets. Let's call out some crypto prices. Right now, XRP currently trading at $2.16. Around the markets, around the board, and including the war narrative. So we went from a tariff war to now we're going to a hot war. And I always said this. Do not forget the war narrative. It has direct impact on the markets. We're going to talk about that here in a minute when it comes to oil. Like I said, y'all didn't respond to me, but have y'all been seeing oil, the prices of oil starting to rise, gas prices at the pump starting to go up? Gas prices at the pump are starting to go up. But we're coming to the end of the quarter, so we only got a few days left. We got the end of this week. So we got 7 days left, and then we will end Q2 2025. Then we will roll over into the second half of the year and start Q3 2025. So we got 7 days to the midway point of the year, and then we're going to cross over and finalize the next 6 months. So y'all tell me in the chat, what's some predictions, what's some forecasts in the next 6 months? That's a small window in time for y'all to give y'all predictions and y'all forecasts. What do y'all see playing out? What do y'all see from the markets Do y'all see us pumping? Do y'all see us retracing, crashing? However you want to interpret it. What do y'all see in the next 6 months to close 2025? Also, with the war narrative, do y'all see us escalating the war? Or do y'all see us kind of like, that kind of dying down a little bit? Because I think, me personally, I think the lines have been crossed. I feel like the lines have been crossed, and Donald Trump has some thinking to do, which I don't put everything on Donald Trump. He's just the CEO of the corporation. CEOs can be swapped out in exchange and, change positions. But right now, he's the CEO of the corporation. So he has some thinking to do about conflict with Israel and Iran. Do we want to engage it? Do we want to get involved? I'm here to wait and see. But anyway, we got XRP currently trading at $2.16. We got XLM trading at 25 cents. We got XDC trading at 5 cents. We got HBAR trading at 15 cents. We got Bitcoin, $105,000. It's kind of waiting. It's waiting to break out. So Bitcoin definitely waiting, setting up. I mean, it's pretty much already broken out, but do we go from 105 to 115 to 120 to 130? We shall see. We got Ethereum doing Ethereum things, 2,500. We got Algo trading at 17 cents. We got DAG. I haven't talked about DAG in a while. Constellation trading at 3 pennies. Also, let's review some more. We got IOTA. Haven't talked about IOTA. 17 cents. We got ZBEC. How many of y'all? ZBEC know it's dead. Out the water. Ain't nobody talking about that no more. But we're still going to cover it just in case the herd wants to come back to it. Because it did something. They was flocking to it. They was chasing candles. But now it's dead in the streets. Ain't nobody talking about it. People have moved on to other shit. But it's trading at less than a penny. ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, trading at $5.05. Ondo, people was talking about Ondo. What happened to the Ondo community? It's trading at 78 cents. Solana, $152. We got the Flare Network, 1 penny. We got Cardano, 63 cents. We got Chainlink at $13. So that's the crypto market. I got more. There's clearly more assets you can cover, but that's pretty much 16 different digital assets that I cover. If you're interested in anything else, like I cover, I was considering adding quant, but it's so many to cover. I can't be in all markets at one time, but we can always review it and look at it. Let me see right quick. Texas Place, you told your girl to learn how to day trade if she want that high. For sure, you know what I'm saying? Send her to me then. Send her to me so she can learn how to do it correctly, Texas Plates. Tell her to sign up for the link in the description in the Patreon. Echelon Gaming. They said Israel bombed an oil site in Tehran. Yes, we're going to go over it. We about to go over here and cover the news before we get into the markets completely. But we're just calling out the markets. We're definitely going to get into it. I feel like, me personally, this ain't no coming back from this. To be honest, in my lifetime, some of y'all might be older, but in my lifetime, I haven't seen like this tense of escalation because, bombing nuclear facilities is like, that's the red line cross right there. You know what I'm saying? Even if they have nuclear weapons or not, targeting and bombing those facilities is real significant, real severe. So, and then the response from Iran attacking Israel, I have not seen that type of precision, that type of weaponry. And, I know it exists. I know all countries have advanced technology, but to see it in real time, to see it like boom, boom, just with the precision where the Iron Dome, Israel got that Iron Dome that's supposed to be protecting the country. That Iron Dome at one point was like the world's top technology at one point. At one point, the Iron Dome was like, you couldn't penetrate it, but now it's failing. It's not even working because Iran is using supersonic missiles. So here we are in the day and the age where, we're using drone warfare and supersonic missiles. We're just living in a new day. But let me see right quick. Echelon, you said, well, I'm confident that the Genius Act will pass at least. I'm sure, man. They're going to pass all that underneath everything, you know what I'm saying? But we got those black swan, you know what I'm saying? All these things are connected as well. All these things are also connected. So we shall see. At Texas Plates, I'm holding ZBC in. So you still holding ZBAC Texas Plates? What's up, Lawrence? Appreciate you joining. If y'all just joining, man, smash that like button for me. I got 15 people in the building. Y'all go ahead and help me get them likes up. Let me go ahead and review the stock market as well. We're going to go over some stocks. We cover everything. We don't just cover crypto. We cover everything. So we got Apple currently trading at 196. We got Nvidia trading at 141. We got Microsoft 474. We got Amazon $212 per share. Meta $682 per share. Tesla $325 per share. Google $174 per share. Palantir $137. These stocks are like, they're not cheap. They're definitely not cheap. And a lot of them aren't at discount either. None of them are at discount. Microsoft $474. Berkshire Hathaway $487. Coinbase $242. We got Netflix $1,212. Why is Netflix like that's definitely inflated prices right there. Like Netflix trading at $1,212. I mean, damn, I know they're a media company, but damn. Oracle $215. Walmart $94. Broadcom $248. And we got Circle that recently dropped or went live or whatever y'all want to call it. They recently went live last week, trading at $133. Claude, good evening, Claude. Good evening. Appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to everybody joining, man. All the men, all the fellas. You know, this is where we gather. We think about the money. The money is always on our mind. Let the women spend the money, but we here to get this money. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? We the breadwinners, most of us at least. So we always thinking of ways to get this bread. And this is one way we do it, by analyzing and focusing on the markets. So with that being said, I want to go over some articles right quick. Let me see right quick. We got some headlines from the military. I'm just going to briefly go over this. If y'all never signed it, this ain't no, I need to get a sponsorship from them or whatnot. But ground news, I like to come over here. I've been seeing a lot of content creators pretty much talk about ground news, but they're like independent. They're not mainstream media. So it's pretty much a clean source of information where you can come get articles and headlines. So as I scroll down, we got a lot of news. So they're saying at least 14 Iranian nuclear scientists. So this is significant. 14 Iranian nuclear scientists killed by Israel since Friday. So Israel they're hitting with precision strikes. So that's insane. You know what I'm saying? They're killing scientists. They're attacking nuclear facilities. Israel, it is what it is. Iran must never have nuclear weapons. And that's coming from somebody over there in politics. Israel takes over Iran skies, airstrikes, etc. So they're also still saying, like, even though Iran is still striking back, Israel is pretty much, they have free reign in the sky. So it's like they pretty much have air dominance over Iran right now. So they're just freely flying through the skies. And then after all this conflict, they say the world's nuclear arsenals are set to grow, including in Europe. So here we are, while Israel attacks Iran, the rest of the world feels like they need to stockpile more nuclear weapons. That's never a good sign. Let me go check out the crypto section in this on this website. Go check out the crypto section. If you're just joining, man, smash that like button. Appreciate y'all joining, man. Let me check out the crypto section. Let's go to cryptocurrency. Let me see right quick. So over here it says Vietnam legalizes crypto under new digital technology law. So we got Vietnam joining the party. They're legalizing crypto. So that's interesting in Vietnam. Bitcoin ETFs record 5-day inflow streak amid geopolitical tensions. Echelon, you said I couldn't believe they had location intel on their scientists like that. Hey, how Echelon, you tell me in the chat, you tell me how else you think they're getting the intel? Who is providing the intel? And they're already you already know they got spies and, you know, people inside the country, so you already know how they're getting down. So it's not far-fetched. I mean, United States pretty much provides intelligence to Israel. You know, we got satellites in the sky. We can see them from satellite surveillance. So we got hackers. We got all kind of intel to go ahead and get up in there. Y'all remember the attack? Did y'all see when Israel attacked Iran and they used it through cell phone networks? So they launched an attack that detonated cell phones and it killed hundreds of people. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? They can. So these cell phones that we have, these cell phones can be hacked and set to detonate. So that's just interesting. That's just crazy to me. Like, that's crazy. But back to the news. Crypto community routinely buys Bitcoins from the state, but don't donate ones that unique say a lawyer says, etc. Whatever. Let me see right quick. Just skimming through some articles. Not much going on with that. It's real quiet in the crypto streets. So let's come over to some news events. Come over, check out some news. And the first piece of news I want to look at is, do y'all remember about 2 weeks ago, when Jamie Dimon sent out his war call? Do y'all remember that 2 weeks ago? I covered it on my channel. Jamie Dimon went up there, spoke, and he was calling for that the United States and Western nations stockpile guns. We don't need Bitcoin. We need to stockpile weapons, guns, etc. Do y'all remember that? Well, I'm going to remind you right here. Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, one of the biggest banks in the world, if not the biggest bank in the world. And he was sending out his war call. And it's funny that this was coming from a banker. And then 2 weeks later, we're starting to see tensions rise on a scale that we might not can return from. So I feel like that's crazy. So let's check it out. I'm going to play a brief segment of it.
There's this expanding intersection between industrial policy in this country and national security, which sort of gets at what you're talking about with some of these different industries. And it's spanning the last couple of administrations. Everybody devils in the details in terms of how the policies shake out across administrations. But I guess to that point, do we need to rethink what constitutes national security?
I wouldn't rethink it. We know what constitutes national security. We need, I was saying we shouldn't be stockpiling Bitcoin. We should be stockpiling guns, bullets, tanks, planes, drones, rare earths. We know what we need to do. This is not a mystery.
Did you say stockpiling Bitcoin?
I said we shouldn't be stockpiling Bitcoin.
Oh, it shouldn't be. Okay.
We should be stockpiling bullets.
Okay.
So y'all see that 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, I went over this same video, and Jamie Dimon was calling, hey, we need to stockpile guns, bullets, rare earths, etc. Because why is he saying this? This was the most random shit from a CEO from a bank. And that's just a clear telltale sign that he's involved in way more than just banking and investing and depending on customers, etc. You know what I'm saying? He's playing at a higher level out here with these billionaires. So he was clearly letting the world know, if you caught this. So he's calling for stockpiling guns, bullets, because they want to push us into a war. Clearly they want to push us into the war. So that was Jamie Dimon from 2 weeks ago. Next thing I want to talk about is, let me see right quick. How the Iran and Israel attacks impact the global economy. So what does this mean? These attacks mean on the markets, on the global economy, on prices. Let's check this video out.
A major attack on one of the world's largest oil-producing countries, injecting more unpredictability into the world's foremost oil-producing region and the global economy. Investors responded immediately, piling their money into safe assets like gold, which touched a 2-month high. And oil.
Y'all hear that? Stockpiling. So again, I've been covering gold on my channel for months. I always talk about gold. I just talked about the gold the other day, how it's parabolic. So, and there's no really discounted opportunity to buy gold. Like it just keeps going higher and higher. So they've been buying gold ahead of all of this conflict. Isn't that ironic or is it not ironic? Is that random or is that not random? Also, the volatility of oil. The volatility of oil. Let's check it out.
Touched a 2-month high. And oil too. The price of Brent crude, the global benchmark, spiking 8% to $75 a barrel. When oil goes up, prices go up across the board, whether that's petrol, plastic toys, or air travel.
This is a bad shock coming at a bad time. It is stagflationary, meaning that it lowers growth expectations and it increases inflation expectations. And that hits us in terms of our income insecurity, how much we pay at the pump. We can't expect any quick interest rate reductions. And if anything, this makes the chances of higher taxation go up rather than come down.
Things could, of course, settle down again. And watching closely, global companies that rely on the Middle East's major maritime shipping routes for transporting oil and goods.
Iran will respond to Israel's attacks. It's unlikely at this point that it's going to spill over into the maritime domain, i.e. that the attacks will take place on commercial shipping. We think that's unlikely at the moment, but the potential is always there.
And there are other signs of disruption too. Countries across the Middle East have closed their airspace, with flights rerouted, cancelled or delayed. Middle Eastern diplomats know how to strike a fragile peace. And, as ever, there's a lot at stake for the global economy and for us as consumers.
So this conflict is going to have direct impact on financial markets, gold, silver, even down to consumer products. So that's a big deal, you know what I'm saying? So what I got right here is oil. This is the futures contract for oil. And if you don't know, the futures markets, which is the derivatives markets, have direct influence on prices, not the actual commodity, but the derivatives market. So right now I got light crude oil, the price of the barrel, like the video just said, $73.90 per barrel. So it's really very volatile. Oil is a very volatile market. We can go trade this as well. So y'all let me know. Well, I never traded oil. I have watched oil, and oil is very manipulated, very volatile. It's a very manipulated, very volatile market. So have y'all ever heard of people taking advantage of war? This is one way of doing it. If you learn how to trade, if you learn how to learn this skill set, you actually, and it's sad, I know, but that's the way of the world, that you can be actually profiting from the conflict in Iran and Israel. You can definitely, let me, 1 second. I ain't got my video up. 1 second. Here I am right there. My bad. You can definitely be profiting from the conflict over there in Israel and Iran. And one way of doing it is coming to the futures market, trading crude oil. So this is a crude oil contract. This is the crude oil chart. And just like any other market, it's tradable and you can profit from it. So I'm going to ask y'all in the chat, which right now, me personally, I would not be trading this because of the high tensions out there in the world. And what is this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat. Y'all should know what candle is this. But look at the wick. Like, that's why I wouldn't trade this, because look at the damage. Look at this flash crash. That happened in 2020, January of 2020. It's not a SIBI. Daryl, I'm gonna tell you in a minute. It's not a SIBI though. It's not a SIBI. So what I'm looking at is, this is a 6-month time frame. So this is a very long term time chart. That candle right there is a order block. Okay. These same concepts work. These same concepts work in all markets. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if it's crypto. It doesn't matter if it's the stock market. It doesn't matter what market it is. These same concepts, because it's all controlled by derivatives. That means it's manipulated. That means there are algorithms behind the scene influencing and controlling price, and it's event based. Like, it's already coded in price when an event is going to happen. So you better believe nothing underneath the sun is random at all. So these events that we see, it's all coordinated, pre-planned, probably decades in advance. So all the market does is react to it. So do you think it's random? Because this month or this, I'm gonna drop down the lower time frames here in a minute. But opening price, this is a order block. Also plus order block plus BISI. So Daryl, not a SIBI, a BISI. So let me highlight that for you. This is a fair value gap right here. I'm gonna highlight it. It's inside of the order block. See that? So let me show you how algorithmic price is, and that is not random. What's up, Gabrielle? Appreciate you joining, man. Let me show you how algorithmic price is, and it's not random. So we all know how to identify the fair value gap, and then we got the order block. So do you think it's random? Okay, let me show you. Do you think it's random? The opening price of this candle, which begins the order block, do you think it's random that price trades down to that? And at the same time, the top of the fair value gap. Do you see that? Now, let's go a little bit deeper into the order block plus fair value gap. Do you think it's random that price trades all the way down to the midway point of the fair value gap? Is that ironic or random? After it drops down there, you already know the protocols that I teach y'all. Y'all know the protocols that I teach y'all. That you could be a buyer at the top of the fair value gap, the midway point, or the low. We already know that, right? You can be a buyer at these levels, right? Or you could be a buyer at the opening price of the order block, okay? So price drops down there, triggers limit orders. It doesn't just drop down there neither. It takes out sell side liquidity right here. These lows, remember, old lows is where the pending orders are. So below old lows, above old highs, that's where the pending orders are in the market. So we got sell side liquidity, pending orders. These markets are trading. There's buyers and sellers betting on oil. So they're either going long or they're going short. So trapped in between this, people was probably trying to buy oil. So the people that was trying to buy oil, it sold off, liquidated them. And smart money accumulated contracts, barrels of oil, and now is rallying up. And now if oil decides to go higher, and oil is a commodity, if y'all don't know, oil is a commodity just like gold, just like silver. It has more value than the dollar. I hope y'all know that, right? It has way more value than a dollar, because our world, as of right now today, will stop if we can't utilize oil, correct? Because everything utilizes oil, all the way down to plastics, all the way down to toys, all the way down to firearms. You know, because if you got a firearm, a lot of the parts are polymer. That's a plastic. You name it, tires, transportation. We use everything with oil. Everything will stop if we cannot utilize oil. So that's why they got to control the price. Oil really should be extremely expensive, but it's not, because there's use case utility. So let me drop down to the 3 month. Now and if you're just joining, this war and this conflict over there in the Middle East is directly impacting the markets. And a good example of that is oil. So even to fight a war, we cannot go to war currently because technology has not been so advanced to where we don't need mechanical machines. We're still using engines. We're still using tanks. The world isn't running on free energy. You know what I'm saying? So we're just using robotics. We're using mechanical machines, tanks, airplanes, trucks. A lot of things depend on oil. We cannot move or go to war without oil. So that's why this market is very important. But as of recently, a few days ago, the attacks over there in the Middle East is impacting oil. And we had a little crash in oil. The oil spiked down. It took out liquidity and it offered a buying opportunity for speculators. people that are betting on oil either buying or selling it. If you're looking to buy it at discount, there was your opportunity right there. So let me see. Let's go down to the monthly. And look how price reacts after taking out liquidity and dropping down inside of that fair value gap. Look how price reacts to going down to these levels that I just highlighted. Is it random? Y'all tell me in the chat. Is that random, or is it should it be doing that? Look at the midway point of the fair value gap. And this is my first time looking at oil. I'm doing this from scratch. I'm just coming to the markets right now. I haven't looked at oil, but as I was preparing for this live stream and I seen that video that, okay, the conflict over there is impacting the oil prices, I thought to myself, this is a good time to cover oil. And here we are. You could be speculating on the conflict over there in the Middle East. And you better believe these institutions, these banks, and smart money are in there betting on commodity prices. You better believe that. So I don't think that's random. I think that's algorithmic. Y'all tell me in the chat what y'all think. Are y'all interested in trading oil? For y'all that are planning to sign up for the signal service, is this a market that y'all will be looking to want to trade? In the meantime, let's go over here and look at the CME to give you oil prices. Let's see what it costs to trade some oil. Let's go to market. So if you're new, you never did this, come over to the commodity futures trade, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME website. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. And I believe, because I don't trade oil, what's up, Barton Keys? I'm just chilling. Another week. We're just beginning another week, going over the markets, going over the conflict over in the Middle East. If y'all just joined us, smash that like button. I got 9 likes, 17 people in the building. Smash that like button for me. But right now we're covering oil because oil is being directly impacted by the conflict overseas. So if you're on the CME website, you want to scroll down right here. See right here, it says WTI crude oil. That's the futures contract for oil. I'm going to select that. Okay. Now, guess what? If y'all don't know, I'm utilizing the signal service. We got micros and we got mini contracts. So I might just simply add that just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it, because we can get in there and trade some micro oil contracts, or we can go ahead and trade some futures mini contracts. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it. But if you ever come to this website, it says find the right WTI crude oil product for you, because you can speculate it. Y'all right now can be speculating, making money on the conflict over there in the world. You don't have to be caught up in all the narratives and all that. You could be speculating, trading oil contracts right now. Oil is a lucrative market. People speculated on it all the time. So let me look at the QM contract. This is the E-mini crude oil futures. So what I want to do is, and like you see, it's currently $73.82 per barrel. What I want to do is I want to look at specs for the oil contract. And what I want to see is the minimum price fluctuation. So for every 0.025, I guess, ticks per barrel, that's what is per barrel, 0.025 per barrel. That equals $12.50. So every time this ticks 0.025, that is $12.50 per tick. So I'm just going to say per point. Every 0.025, so I'm assuming it goes from 0.025, 0.050, 0.075, and then it round trips to 0.000. So that's how it goes. So let me go check it out over here on the oil contract. Let me pull it back up. So let's drop down to a lower time frame. Let's go down to the weekly. Okay. Let's go down to the daily. No, I'm just going to, let's go down to the daily. Go down to the daily. 1 second. And let's look for a PD array to enter on. Let's go look for a PD array to enter on. So I'm going to tell y'all in the chat. I'm going to ask y'all in the chat. For y'all that been here, if you've never been here before, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you've never been here before, we're looking at oil futures because we're looking to profit from the conflict in the Middle East. There's money to be made. So y'all in the chat, tell me what this is right here. What is this area in price right here? Y'all tell me in the chat if you never heard it before. This is your first time. You should be paying attention. But what area and price is this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat. Shout out to you, Daryl. Always on point. Been on point. One of my best subscribers when it comes to paying attention and studying. But that's not a SIBI. Not a SIBI. It is called a volume imbalance. So I talked about BISIs, SIBIs, inversion, fair value gaps, and then another one is a volume imbalance. So what is a volume imbalance? It is a gap. So for example, this is how you identify. They're clear. They're pretty much the easiest ones to see as well. But when you see the bodies of the candles don't overlap, you see that? The bodies of the candles don't overlap. Ignore the wick, even though we can use this as well. We can use the ghost pool as well. But whenever you see candles where the bodies don't overlap and they just create a space and price, that is called a volume imbalance, because what it did was this candle closed right here, and then this one gapped open. It gapped open, opened up here, and it created a volume imbalance because there was no price action in here. So what does the algorithm want to do? So let's highlight the volume imbalance right there. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the closing price of this candle and then the closing price of this candle. And that's the area that I'm highlighting. You see that? So what I did was I take a rectangle and I drew it out. We got the midway point of the volume imbalance. And look how price on this candle right here. So after this candle closes right here, this candle opens, it goes high, and then it spikes lower. And that's how volatile oil is, very volatile. And then it closed. And then, okay, now we wait because we clearly defined the volume imbalance. This candle right here opens up. You see that candle right there? It opens up at the base and then it trades down into the volume imbalance. It's real quick. It's not going to last long. That's your opportunity to get in there with precision, like how Iran is dropping them bombs on Israel and how Israel is striking those nuclear labs and killing and assassinating generals over there in the Middle East. That's how we're thinking in the market. You got to have the same mentality. So we're taking a limit order and we're going to place it right there at the midway point of that volume imbalance. Okay, we're getting in and out, surgical, just like those jets over there. Boom, right there. That's our limit order. And we need to find a take profit area. So I'm going to zoom out. We're not going to be in here long. We're trying to be precision guided. We're not trying to hold. That's what a lot of y'all get wrong when it comes to trading. Y'all like to hold and you don't know why you're holding. A lot of people right now are holding ZBEC and y'all don't know when to get out of it. Y'all just been holding it, looking at it, waiting. But people like me, no, we're getting in and out with precision. So let me show y'all over here. Y'all tell me in the chat. What is this right here? What is this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat. Come on now, sharpen up, tighten up now. Y'all let me know what it is. Y'all tighten up, get on y'all A game. What is that right there? Shout out to y'all, Lawrence. Shout out to you, Daryl. That is a SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, okay? So I'm going to highlight that. We want to have realistic objectives. We're going to have realistic objectives. So I'm going to drag that all the way out to the right. What's up, Ed? Appreciate you joining. Appreciate y'all joining. So you see that SIBI, we're going to use that as a target. Now, we already know that SIBI is there, right? We already know that's there, okay? That's a realistic objective because why is it a SIBI? There was no efficiency. There was no efficient price in here. All they offered was sell side delivery. They didn't offer any type of buy side delivery in here. So what they had eventually at some later date, the algorithm is going to want to refer back to this area and price. So hopefully y'all are taking down that those details. So, okay, let's go back to our entry. So we define our entry. We're going to set a limit order at the midway point of that fair value gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tool over here on the left side of my chart. I'm using TradingView if y'all just joined it. We're going to drop it at the midway point. Boom, right there. Now the green, we're going long. So the green shaded area is our long position. That's how much profit in percentage we're looking to take. In the red shaded area, that's our risk on this trade if we were trading futures. So I want to take my risk a little tighter. So what I would need to do is I'm going to drop down to from the daily, I want to drop down to the hourly because I don't want to risk too much on this trade. So I'm going to tighten that up. And I'm going to drop that. Let me see right quick. Very volatile. Might have to go back out to the daily. Very volatile. Go back out to the daily. So really, to be honest, I'm going to drop that at the bottom of the fair value gap. Boom, right there. Okay. I'm going to drop that risk at the bottom of that fair value gap. That's 185 ticks. So how does this go over here? 1 second. CL1H. Let me see. 1 second. I'm reading the contract right quick. So it says for every 0.025 per barrel, that's 1250. So let me see how many points that is, and then we're going to calculate that up with our calculator. So 1250. So that is 788 points. Okay, 788 points. Y'all tell me in the comments how much money is that? Barton K. Let me pull my calculator out. It's 1250 times 788. I got 9,850. I got 9,850, and that's one contract. There you go. I got 9,850, and that's one contract. Now, this is very volatile because oil is a spiky market. I watch oil, I watch it, but I have never traded oil because the volatility in oil is a beast. So I'm being transparent with that, but the same concept still works. But the volatility is the beast. So that's our take profit, and that's our risk. You calculate your risk as well, 185. That's how much you're willing to lose on that trade. And this is one contract for oil, and this is the mini as well. So imagine the micro for more affordable for retail. But we enter that trade right there, and then it expands higher. And do you think it's random that it goes directly up to this SIBI, and then it rejects it, closes, okay? And then the next candle, if you was holding on to this, the next candle will spike up. It just gapped open right here and opened up here. And then it rejected the SIBI and then currently closed. So this market right now just pretty much open. How many days we got left? Go out to the weekly. So yes, this market just opened on Sunday and it opened up by trading lower. So very volatile, but you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful. That's why we're going to be in and out surgical if we was trading this. But y'all see realistically that people are in here banking, trading futures oil. So hopefully that's new to y'all and I taught y'all something different. Let's go ahead and continue and move forward. And let's talk about some more news headlines. Let's come back over here. Let me pull this up right quick. See what else kind of news we got. If y'all just joining, man, smash that like button. I appreciate y'all joining on this Sunday evening and whatnot. Let's see right quick. Trying to figure out which video I want to play. Let's play this one right here. How Israel strikes Iran nuclear site. So I thought this video right here was very interesting. It gave a video description on the attack recently, how Israel ran off into Iran, how they attacked them strategically with the precision, the weaponry. Let's go ahead and review this as well. Y'all can go subscribe to this content creator as well. I don't want to just use people's content without giving them a shout out. So y'all go subscribe to this channel. Let me see right quick.
On June 13, 2025, Israel launched a series of large-scale precision strikes targeting Iran's nuclear and military infrastructure. The operation was codenamed Rising Lion. After months of research, we've mapped out these secret Iranian nuclear sites, some hidden deep underground, others in plain sight. Each location reveals part of the bigger picture. But more importantly, we need to understand why Israel is so determined to halt Iran's nuclear enrichment, which according to Israeli intelligence, Iran's centrifuge may be just days away from producing a nuclear bomb. Not to forget the detailed process of how they are made. We'll also break down Israel's strategy and examine the targeted sites and uncover the real reasons behind this dramatic escalation, all in the video ahead. Iran has several nuclear programs, but let's take a look at some of the key underground facilities. First, we have Fordo nuclear programmed. It is an enrichment site built into a mountain, providing better protection against potential bombardment compared to the...
So I was recently seeing that's why I said, y'all let me know, do y'all think, and nobody answers me when I say this. Do y'all think, which we're already involved, do y'all think the United States goes hot with this? You know what I'm saying? Because I just seen like Israel, they attacked these facilities in Iran, but they could not penetrate the underground bunkers or whatnot where these facilities are. So the United States has the weaponry to go ahead and penetrate those bunkers, like those what they call them, those bunker busters. That's what they call them, the bunker busters. They're able to penetrate those deep underground bases and hit those facilities. So do we escalate and provide Israel with those weaponry? That to me is a very deep telling escalation. Also, this video is saying Iran could be days away from producing nuclear warheads. So I feel like they're not going to be scared to use them because their back is against the wall. So, hey, I feel like we're getting closer for somebody hitting that red button. That's going to be a scary day.
The fuel enrichment plant. The second site is the Natanz nuclear facility. It houses several facilities, including 2 enrichment stations, the vast underground fuel enrichment plant, and the above-ground pilot fuel enrichment refinery.
This one Shark Tank investor just made a big bet on this little-known $1.90 smart home startup. But
the third nuclear facility is Isfahan, the largest nuclear technology center located on the outskirts of the city. It includes the fuel plate fabrication plant and a uranium conversion facility capable of processing uranium into uranium hexafluoride, which is then fed into centrifuges. The fourth nuclear site is Kandab. Iran has a partially built heavy water research reactor here, originally called Arak, but now known as Kandab. Finally, we have Bushehr, Iran's only operational nuclear power plant located on the Gulf Coast. It uses Russian fuel, which is then returned to Russia once spent, thereby reducing the proliferation risk. Let's take a look at a simplified version of how Iran's nuclear extraction and enrichment process works. This is the uranium ore, and it is extracted using a drill that pulls the reamer up through the pilot hole, widening it. The broken ore then falls into what is known as an extraction chamber. Next, a bulldozer, operated remotely to keep the operator at a safe distance from falling rock hazards, picks up the uranium rock.
So people that are smart and intelligent and know about this, is it already radioactive in that state when it's in its raw phase? Y'all let me know in the chat. I'm learning myself, but is it like already radioactive? But this process is interesting, and you know, this shit is deep, you know what I'm saying? Gabrielle, you said it's already radioactive and in its raw state. That's crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. That's interesting. Barton K, you said 6 months to a year to process detonation of Iran nuke. I heard today as well, I don't know how true it is. Y'all know how the internet is. Don't take my word for it. But I heard today they had like an earthquake near the Iran border, and they're pretty much saying that was a nuclear test. I don't know. Did y'all hear that? Y'all can confirm it to me. I don't know. Y'all know how the internet is. Let's continue.
Fast forward, the uranium is then condensed, ground, and placed into a centrifuge for further enrichment. Everyone is talking about centrifuge enrichment, but let's explore how it actually works. In this visualization, the green dots represent uranium-238 atoms, while the blue dots represent the concentration of uranium-235 atoms. This first batch is natural uranium, which contains only 0.7% of uranium-235. Here, in this image, we have 5% low-enriched uranium, which is used for commercial nuclear power plants. Finally, we have weapons-grade uranium, which contains 90% uranium-235. As you can see, almost all the uranium-238 has been removed, and it is replaced by uranium-235 representing the color blue. Let's show how this is extracted through super simplified animation. The centrifuge consists of a high-grade tube with a spinning motor at the bottom and a feeding tube at the top. Uranium is fed into the centrifuge as a gas called uranium hexafluoride. As the motor spins at high speed, the heavier uranium-238 is separated from the lighter uranium-235 using centrifugal force. The uranium-235 floats to the top and is collected.
And Israel is going out its way to preventing this process, from what I'm understanding. Like, They do not want them to do this process right here, which they're probably already doing this process, but this is fascinating to me. It's pretty much chemistry. It's chemistry. I remember taking chemistry classes in school, and I was, you know what I'm saying, like I wasn't always interested in school, but chemistry always caught my attention for some whatever reason it was. I thought chemistry was always interesting. And this process, you know, it's pretty, you know, because how the heck, okay, y'all just really put it in perspective. Put it in perspective right quick. How the hell does raw material from the earth produce an explosion? Y'all seen nuclear bombs go off or videos or clips from a nuclear weapon. How does the raw material from the earth create an explosion so vast and so powerful, like to the extreme of the sun? So that shit is insane to me. Like, I always thought that was interesting.
At this section of the centrifuge, while the heavier uranium-238 in the color green falls to the bottom of the centrifuge and the enrichment process is complete. Let's take a look at how Israel uses the Air Force to strike nuclear targets. At 3:30 in the morning, Israel launched around 200 fighter jets, deployed over 330 munitions to strike dozens of nuclear and military targets.
And sleep all the way down, all the way down.
Remember when you were excited about life? When you woke up with a sense of purpose?
Iran's primary enrichment site and missile production complexes. Although these routes may seem straightforward, they involve complex planning, including calculations for air refueling and coordinating attack aircraft to pass through Jordan, Syria, and Iraq. They also neutralize potential air defense threats in Syria and Iraq to ensure a safe return in case they were targeted. Israel's strategy.
So Israel is openly attacking, which I know this already, but they're openly attacking Iraq and Syria through air supremacy, and they just doing what the hell they want to do, right? They just can do what they want to do, and they the smallest country in the region. That's insane to me.
Strategy was to attack Iran in 3 waves. The first wave targeted surface air-to-air sites, radar installations, and Iran's air defense headquarters in Tehran, Elam, and Khuzestan. The second wave focused on destroying ballistic missiles, and finally, the third wave targeted military manufacturing industries. To avoid Iranian air defenses, they used the ROX missiles, which allowed them to strike from positions closer to enemy targets without requiring jets to penetrate deep into Iranian territory. Surprisingly, the Iranian Bavar 373 air defense system performed better than expected. We'll also look into how this air defense missile works and the strength of the Iranian Air Force, all in the video ahead. Let's us first look at Israel fighter jets used in the operations. The tip of the spears are the 5th-generation F-35 fighter jets, S-16 air defense jets, and F-15 ground attack jets.
Now, where the hell Israel get all those weaponry, those machines from? Who else? We already know who provided it, but if we didn't sit there and help them, how far would they possibly get with doing all this attacking and etc.? Gabrielle, you said, boss, you were making trading sessions very interesting with the real life discussions and news impacts. That's because everything is connected together. There's nothing, this is all part of the same game. The markets, the financial markets are a part of the geopolitical process. It's a part of the political process. It's all involved. It's all dealing with economy. It's economics. Everything financial is all economics, geopolitical, politics, etc. is all economics. All of these nations would not be where they're at without economy, right? They have to have industry. So, for example, this jet right here on the screen, this jet, it's a F-15 fighter pilot. So, y'all tell me in the chat which American company produced the jet or produced the software, or who's producing the engine, who's producing the wiring, the technology. These are all American products, and these companies would not be where they're at if America wouldn't be where they're at without the companies of America. You get what I'm saying? The biggest purchaser, the biggest buyer of technology is the United States federal government. Google, Facebook, Meta, Lockheed Martin, you name it. The list, I mean, every major company or corporation in the United States has federal contracts directly with the United States government. We know that, right? We should know that. Let me see right quick. Yeah, Lockheed Martin. So that's what I'm saying. Lockheed Martin, F-15 fighter jet. Let me go look at 1 second. Let's come back to the market. We're going to come back to this video. 1 second. Let's come back to the market. And if y'all know, y'all let me know in the chat. But I'm going to look up and see if Lockheed Martin is trading on the stock market, which I'm sure they are. Let's come back right quick. Let's come back over here to the market. And let me see if I can pull up Lockheed Martin. I'm not sure what their ticker is, but we're going to find it. Let me see right quick. There we go. So Lockheed Martin, LMT, that's their ticker, Lockheed Martin Corporation. They are trading on the New York Stock Exchange, okay? So let's click it. And of course, the stock market is like the highly most manipulated market. They probably should be, boom, there you go. I had to zoom out. You take a zoom out. So this is what I mean. All of these things are connected, tied in together. I don't just see, when you learn how to trade, when you understand the narrative and what's going on in these markets, it will start to unlock for you. This is one of the reasons the wealthy, the elite, they don't work jobs. They just own assets. BlackRock, they own assets. BlackRock doesn't build shit. I mean, they got technologies and whatnot. They build their business, but they're not out here producing and outputting like some of these corporations. No, they're just accumulating assets and buying assets up. Let me see right quick. Barton K, you say investments in defense companies. BlackRock invests heavily in major weapons. Yes, manufacturers and military contracts. These investments include companies like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, yes, Boeing, and is that General Electric, yes, or General Dynamics, and so on, yes. So you're absolutely 100% correct, Barton, and that's what I want y'all to start understanding, that these wars and these conflicts, these damn corporations are invested in these conflicts. They're producing for the United States government in return for money, for cash. They want to, these, like a company like Lockheed Martin, a company like Raytheon, they don't have to work with the private sector. They can work directly with the public sector, which is government, and that's their biggest customer. I hope y'all know that, right? Most of these corporations, the biggest customer is the United States government. That's the biggest buyer of technology and everything. They're the biggest buyer. I learned that studying government contracts. If y'all don't know, start studying government contracting. I used to watch the movie War Dogs, and then I had a phase in my life where I was like, man, I want to do this shit. I want to sell guns. In my mind, I said I want to sell guns to the United States government. Not necessarily guns. They don't just buy guns. They buy everything. The United States government buys garbage bags. So if you're somebody, check this out. I'm going to throw y'all an alley-oop right quick. Take the smallest thing, and could it offer a service to the government? Think about it. Let's say you find a supplier that produces garbage bags. And I'm talking about a supplier in China, India, whoever can produce cheap garbage bags that you can purchase for cheap. And you're operating as a business. And you're taking those garbage bags, you're putting your name on it, your logo, your business, and then you're supplying those garbage bags to the biggest purchaser of everything in the world, which is the United States government. Okay? You're selling directly to the government. They're buying your garbage bags every week, every month, etc., and they're paying you a contract. Those contracts can be in the millions of dollars, depending on what sector you're in. The United States government buys, they need barbers. Did y'all know that? So who all has been in the military, and they might have somebody contracting on a base cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? The government buys everything. If y'all don't know, in order for us to be the greatest nation in the world, the government doesn't produce nothing. They purchase everything. But that's why we got the biggest market in the world, because everybody is producing for the government. So hopefully I'm making sense. Y'all smash that like button if y'all just joined it. Barton K, you say apply for GSA number to get any government contracts. Yes, I've been through it. Barton K, I've been through it. If you're a truck driver, buy you a truck. There's no need to go out there and figure out, oh, I'm gonna go into this lane or whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go into this lane. No, you can go buy your truck, go direct to the government, and let the government, allow you to haul tanks and trucks for them. There's no need, or you can go overseas. You can go overseas in truck or anything. If you're in IT, if you're an IT specialist, instead of going to the private sector like Google, like Amazon, or one of these big FANG companies, no, go directly to the federal government, work in IT. They got jobs for y'all. And they pay more. So the government buys every single thing, you name it, they need it. Troops, soldiers need food. So if you're a lot of these food distributors, they supply directly to the United States government. So I'm sure a lot of y'all understand this, or if it's new to you, you might not understand it. But back to what I was saying, this is right here. This is Lockheed Martin building F-15 fighter jets or whatever they build. I'm not sure what they build. They might build the engines or whatnot, but whatever they build, I believe, y'all tell me in the comments, am I right? Let me know if I'm right. What do Lockheed Martin build? Don't they build the fighter jets? I know they work directly with the government, but what exactly do they build? Y'all let me know in the chat. But Lockheed Martin, this is their stock. It's currently trading at $486 per share. It's been on the stock market since 1995. Back in 1995, this share, Lockheed Martin opened up at $25 per share. Okay, I appreciate it, Gabrielle. I appreciate it. They build the fighter jets. So those same fighter jets that we're using, or what Israel is using, because let me tell you what happened. Lockheed Martin builds them. They sell them to the government, or they build them for the government through contracts. And then the government has a large supply of F-15 fighter jets. And then eventually those F-15 fighter jets become outdated. And then what do? They sell them on the market to nations, Israel, Iran, etc. Barton K, you say F-22 Raptor, F-35 Lightning II, and the C-130 Hercules. Yes, so that's some major shit right there. All those fighter jets and those pieces of equipment. So eventually the government, the United States government, they have no use, or they got a new advanced model, so that their old models, they go ahead and sell to countries like Iran. Iran has United States fighter jets. Israel has United States fighter jets. So when they're having dogfights and they're in the heat of battle, we're seeing and witnessing American products in the sky. They're not producing their own goddamn products. They're not fighting with their own equipment. We're the ones out here sponsoring the conflict. You know what I'm saying? So America is on both sides of this conflict, if y'all know that or not. So that's why don't be ashamed, because we're not asking for this. They're doing this, whatever. But the double-edged sword is you can be profiting from the conflict. Y'all heard about this before. I'm sure y'all heard about central banks profit from both sides of the war and conflict. They always create war, and they fund both sides of it, and they profit from it. So by holding Lockheed Martin, by trading oil futures contracts, you could be profiting on war. It's crazy, right? And you as a retail can be doing it as well. Darryl, you said don't forget about Northrop and Grumman. It's so many companies, bro. I can't even name them all. I cannot name them all, but pretty much every significant company out there that produce products like fighter jets, etc., they are directly involved with the United States government. Those contracts sometimes are the main income for some of these companies. Those government contracts directly with the United States government is the main income for a lot of these corporations. And then they go to the private sector, and that's where they get their secondary income from. So hopefully that's new to y'all. But this is Lockheed Martin. It opened up in 1995. It opened up at $25 per share. Okay. and the high of this stock went up to $618. So imagine back in 1995 taking a $10,000 and investing it into Lockheed Martin. Those same investors today, a lot of those banks, BlackRocks of the world, still hold stocks decades later. So it's been, let me see, 95, 2005, 2015. It's been about 40 years or 30 years. No, 40 years since this hit the market. And what I'm trying to do right here is I'm trying to give you a percentage of what that looks like. So from opening up to the high. Right there. So that's a return of 2,474%. And that's just time in the game right there. That's just time in the game. So shout out to the shareholders. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the shareholders. But do y'all find it interesting? Look at the current candle. Look at the current candle, right? Let's zoom in a little bit. This is a 3-month time frame. Y'all already, what candle was this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat. What kind of candle was that in the chat? What kind of candle was that? Let's highlight that. Opening price of that candle, right? That's the opening price of that candle. Make it a little thicker so y'all can see. What kind of PD array is that? Shout out to you, Gabrielle. It's a order block. It's a order block. So we got the opening price and then we got the midway point. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to take the midway point. I'm going to highlight that of the order block. So about right there. That's the mean threshold of the order block. Okay. Not just a block. Put that order block on it, Barton. Put the order block on it. Now I'm just messing with you though. But is it random that price drops down to the order block and uses it as support? That was a buying opportunity when it dropped down to about $419, coming off a high of $618. So they offered a discount to smart money, drop it down, scoop it up. I'm sure BlackRock was in there scooping it up. And when I say smart money, we talking about billions of dollars. We're talking about corporations that got billions and they got money to play with. Us retail, it's going to be a little bit harder to purchase a share of this shit. You know what I'm saying? A few shares. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be real hard, but those shares go a long way. Eventually, this market is going to be tokenized. So imagine price dropping down, scooping it up, and now it's on its way back higher. And I'm sure since war has began, since war has started, and since those fighter jets are in the skies, this is going to start wanting to reach for premium prices. Is that random? I don't think that's random at all. I don't think that's random at all. If y'all just joining, man, smash that like button. Let's come back over here to the video. Let's go ahead and finish that video up. And then we're going to review the rest of the markets. Then I'm going to get y'all up out of here. But I appreciate y'all joining on this Sunday evening. It is Sunday the 15th, 2025. We are starting a new week in the market. So we're just tying in war and conflict with the financial markets. We reviewed, if you're just joining, we reviewed oil. We're talking about the Israel-Iran conflict, what kind of weapons they're using. They're using F-15 fighter jets. So what we did was we went and looked at Lockheed Martin, who produces these jets, and we looked at their stock. So that's where we're at right now. So let's go ahead and continue this video.
Which covered approximately 1,600 kilometers, translating to around 1,000 miles. While the weapons of choice were the Blue Arrow long-range supersonic missile and the Rock's next-generation extended standoff air.
See that right there? Those missiles, those rockets. Somebody is producing those rockets, banking from that. Like what? Y'all let me know. I'm not going to go that deep right now, but if y'all are familiar with that, whoever is producing these rockets, some company is producing these high-tech rockets and they're precision guided. Some of them have GPS in them, which is crazy, but somebody is producing that for the United States government. I'm sure there's trading on the stock exchange. That's why all this shit is connected. That's why you can profit from war. And I'm sitting here showing y'all how when there's conflict, y'all got to think differently, man. Y'all, instead of being consumed, yes, people are dying, unfortunately. Unfortunately, rest in peace to those souls that passed. But that's the way of the world. It's sad to say, but how can you make your life and your situation better from it? You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to look at it.
Surface missile. To cover such distances, air refueling tankers were used between flights. This measure was taken in case they needed to engage in a dogfight with Iranian fighter jets and also while returning from their mission. ROX is Israel's next-generation extended standoff air-to-surface ballistics missile. Israel's strike also took out General Hossein Salami, one of the country's most powerful and influential military commanders. It also allows the weapon to hit targets that have moved from their original positions. But in an area of high-threat situation, these bombs typically use a GPS-enabled inertial guidance system to guide them to the general target area, before switching to an imaging infrared seeker for the terminal stage of flight, destroying the targets with deep penetration or blast fragmentation as required. Surprisingly, the BOSSVISION 373 and S-300 missiles successfully intercepted Israeli drones and some missiles. Let's take a quick look at the BOSSVISION 373. This system uses Sayed-4 missiles, which are housed in 2 rectangular launch canisters. It features a phased array radar system for tracking both aerodynamic targets and ballistic missiles over medium to long ranges. One of the radars used in the BOSSVISION 373 is the Mirai-4, a phased array radar with a range of 450 kilometers, which Iran claims this system can simultaneously track up to 200 targets.
The fitness industry doesn't want women over 40 to know this. Have you seen this guy? You know, the one that keeps telling.
The Israeli attack can be divided into 3 distinct phases: first, second, and third wave, each targeting critical components of Iran's military infrastructure. Speaking of targets, since I've been traveling to the UK and Ireland recently, we've had to rely on airport Wi-Fi, which can be dangerously insecure. Using Surfshark VPN, it not only encrypts our data, but also changes our IP address, allowing us to appear virtually and to shield your device. You can order months free if hit or partially damaged. Key targets include surface-to-air missile or SAM sites and radar installations, crucial for early detection and defense against aerial assaults. Iran's air defense headquarters confirmed the attacks happened, which aimed to cripple the nation's ability to track and respond to future incoming threats. While the second wave targets Iran's missile capabilities, specifically focusing on neutralizing both ballistic and hypersonic missile systems. At least 3 missile bases were attacked in a second round or second wave of Israeli strike. IDF drones also targeted the secretive Parchin military base in the outskirts of Tehran, and finally 1 drone made it through the Iranian air defense and hit the base while others were shot down. These strikes are designed to prevent Iran from launching retaliatory missile strikes. The third and final wave focuses on destroying key military barracks and manufacturing facilities essential to Iran's missile production and military logistics. Targets include the Qadiri Barracks and Hassan Khan Castle, a missile manufacturing and preparation center. The Sepah Air Force Logistics Center and Imam Ali Barracks are allegedly included in this phase to disrupt logistical support and command structures. Israel were trying to target these missiles bases like the Fatah-1 and Fatah-2 missiles. It was used for the first time and is one of Iran's advanced missile systems. What sets it apart from other ballistic missiles is its ability to accelerate outside the Earth's atmosphere, while its aerodynamic control surfaces enable steering to evade the famous Arrow missiles defense system made by Israel. Israel was also looking to strike these ground-launched ballistic missiles that targeted the IDF bases. Israel also wants to dismantle. The Shahab 3 is the foundation for all of Iran's medium-range ballistic missiles and uses liquid propellant. From outer space, military satellites will pick up targets like this heavily fortified bunker. The Israeli are also believed to have tested these newly built LoRa missiles. Coordinates data have to brief and assign to a designated attack aircraft to strike with precision without entering into enemy airspace. This is LoRa, a ballistic missile precision engineered for accuracy capable of engaging strategic assets deep within hostile territory, from jet fighters to a heavy mission aircraft like this one. According to the company, Air LoRa can travel across vast distances, delivering fast response impact without engaging their defense systems or encroaching on enemy airspace. It does this by striking from above at a 90-degree angle with supersonic speed. This air ballistic missile can penetrate air defense shield, carrying a warhead that can be guided by GPS and inertial navigation system that is immune to jamming. It is also equipped with a huge warhead that ensures critical targets are neutralized with a single strike. You might be asking, where are the Iranian fighter jets and how do they compare against Israel in this attack? Let's break this down into several parts. To fight against the F-16 and F-35 jets, the Iranian have the tip of the spear. It consists of American-made aircraft, around 64 numbers of F-4 Phantoms that Iran purchased during the Shah's regime.
So y'all see that right there? Iran is using American-made aircraft. Israel is using American-made aircraft. I also think Iran has aircraft from Russia and other nations as well. But here we are, United States. We sponsored this. We sponsored this knowing in the future this will be the outcome. That's what I feel like. Now let me come over here. Looks like we got a live feed. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Let me come over here. I have a feed going on with Israel over there. I got a feed in the top left that is Tel Aviv. I'm not sure if they're fighting. I see smoke in the sky as if a rocket has struck. So it is morning time over there. It's already, what time is it over in the United States? It is 9:20 United States Eastern Standard Time. 9:20 United States Eastern Standard Time. So this is something, I'm not going to be actually monitoring this all day or whatnot, but if we need to go live and have a live feed with this, I will be watching it. And remember how these companies are sponsoring this. So that's a live feed. I'm going to go over here to the markets here in a second. Let me read these comments though. Gabrielle, you said those supersonic ICBMs Iran used yesterday cannot be stopped by the Iron Dome. Yes, I've been seeing highlight. It's actually, hate to say it, that shit is interesting. I ain't gonna say it's amazing. I don't want to say that. I want to be sensitive to the people that are losing their life. But to see it, I never seen that in real life. We haven't seen it in action. We haven't seen it in response to an attack. So it's all interesting that we're seeing that in 2025. So just don't press the red button. Stay off the red button because I don't think the world is ready for that neither. Barton K, you say, thanks for everything, boss. We'll message you tomorrow. Have a good night. Okay, I appreciate it, Barton. Peace out. Peace out. If y'all are just joining, man, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're just covering recent news that have direct impact to the financial markets. Direct impact to the financial markets. I just seen smoke in the sky in this top left feed up here. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if attacks are going on. So here it is. It's about to be Monday. It's already Monday over there. So it's Monday in Israel and we are beginning the new week. You already know the news cycle of the week. We don't know where we're going to get week to week with this. So y'all know how that goes. Every week is some new shit. So I feel like this just began. So let's come over here. Let me get over here to the economic calendar. Let's take a look at the economic calendar. So for this week coming up, this is the third week of June. We're in the third week. June is kind of going by fast. So it's going by pretty fast. We have FOMC meetings this week. Oh, how ironic. We got interest rates announcements on Wednesday. So y'all tell me in the chat what y'all think they're going to do. What is the Fed going to do? Are they going to pause them again or are they going to cut interest rates? We got FOMC meetings this Wednesday. So a lot of high impact news going on. Daryl, you said you think they're going to pause it? That's going to be interesting. I'm going to take a look at the dollar here in a minute. We also got a bank holiday on Thursday. That is Juneteenth. That's a celebration of, that's like a Black History Day. Blacks being freed from slavery in the United States. So we got a mixed feed. Oh, okay. We got Gabrielle, you said think we're going to cut interest rates this week. Lawrence, you said you think they're going to hold. We going to see, man. Like, again, it doesn't matter to me what they do because, again, there's always opportunity in the market and we're going to navigate the market. We're going to find those opportunities and we're going to execute strategic surgical strikes in the market as traders. Now, for us long-term investors, y'all go touch grass. Y'all go ahead and enjoy y'all summer. Stay out the news cycle. Go get some sunlight. It's summertime. It's hot in some places. Go see a beach. I would say fly somewhere, but planes are going down left and right. So I understand if you don't want to get in the plane. I understand that you might want to stay on the ground and take your road trip. Take your road trip somewhere this summer. Make sure y'all give y'allself a break because y'all deserve it, because y'all are busting y'all ass every day for the system. You know what I'm saying? We are pawns in the system. So we're constantly feeding the system. I don't even care if you're a millionaire. The federal government is going to come get those taxes, right? So we're working hard, busting our ass to make our wealth just to pay high taxes. So this matrix runs deep. This matrix runs deep. Something else I wanted to talk about, man. I'm learning IT as well, and maybe I might hold that for another live stream. But I wanted the layers of the internet. Me personally, I think there's a super AI already existing. I know this kind of random, but I already think artificial intelligence. I already think blockchain technology. This shit been here for like decades already, and now they're just rolling it out to us. And I might get into that shortly after I finish up this analysis, but I don't think none of this shit is random, man. I think everything is coordinated. Everything is not what it seems in real life. So, you know what I'm saying? We just playing this game out here, and it's never ending. Everywhere you look, it's like, how do we break out the matrix? Do we break out of the matrix by getting rich and wealthy? Do we break out of the matrix by fighting back? Because being rich and wealthy is not all that, you know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, when it brings you attention or whatnot. So we got to pick our battles. We got to choose wisely, and we got to figure out what direction we're going in the matrix. Daryl, you said Ukraine versus Russia, Iran versus Israel, riots, senator assassination. Yeah, I seen that. All kinds of noise. Yes. In the Diddy trial, you know what I'm saying? In the Diddy trial. And then if you're in the urban community, you know about all the hip hop shit, and even YouTube. If you scroll down, I know my personal YouTube feed is toxic as hell. That's why I got multiple YouTube channels and whatnot. My personal YouTube channel is toxic. I subscribe to all kind of shit just to keep my mind off of different things. But just watching, because you know YouTube is the new television, right? YouTube is the new TV. So man, that shit can be distracting. And then add on top of that, social media. You know, you got the OnlyFans workers. You got the social media is crazy. You got, if you're a man, shout out to the fathers. Happy Father's Day, everybody. But if you're a man out here, you already know how Instagram, and you know how Instagram does. You know what I'm saying? You like one female's photo, they're gonna suggest like women to you. So you got to have the mental fortitude not to sit on there all day and just scroll. I call it death scrolling, where you just scrolling for no reason. Some of y'all gonna do that tonight when y'all go to bed. Y'all gonna scroll, knowing y'all need to go to sleep and get some rest. You know what I'm saying? But put the phone down and don't let these women, you know, don't let them, what they doing. They doing magic. These social networks like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg, y'all know what the hell y'all doing. Y'all know exactly what y'all created, and y'all knew how to target men in their weakness. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how to target men in the weakness. So even watching Instagram, Facebook, all those things, that can be a weakness for men. So we got to tap out and focus on productive things. You know what I'm saying? Focus on productive things. Casey, I'm surprised Boeing hasn't been canceled yet. Why would Boeing be canceled, Casey? Why would Boeing be canceled? You know why? Are you talking about, just give me your reason, then I'm going to answer back to that. And I'm going to give you my reason why they're not canceled. But why would they be canceled? Let's come back over here. Let's come over to, let's see what market I want to look at first. Let's go ahead and get out the way. Let's come look at XRP. Let's come over to XRP. Nothing really going on. Oh, you said all them down planes? Well, you know why they haven't been canceled? Let me go do this right quick. Come right over here. And I was just talking about this. Casey, you said Boeing planes are the ones always in crashes, missing flights, and scandals. Poor quality build. And you know why? That's because that's for the regular retail customer. But one reason they're not canceled is because they work directly with the federal government. And you better believe whatever Boeing is offering to the public ain't the same shit they offering to the federal government. So that's why they have not been canceled. They're not going nowhere because the United States military needs Boeing. There's only so many companies that produce what Boeing does, right? Y'all realize that, right? So that's another reason. I'm trying to look at right there. Boeing federal government contracts value. Boeing's government contracts are substantial, with billions of dollars in awards from various U.S. government agencies. These contracts cover a wide range of areas, including aircraft production, sustainment, weapon systems. So boom, there you go. Weapon systems alone. Do y'all think the civilians flying in the air, they're not utilizing weapon systems on those aircraft in the sky? We getting the junk. We get the junk. There need to be some type of protest. Exactly. To be honest, I agree with y'all. They need to be canceled because they got all this technology and all this shit that they can build, and they give the civilians the trash. That's because I'm not going to say they're not worried about the private sector. They are. That's a part of their business. But once they start landing these government contracts, I mean, shit, that's their primary business right there. These contracts cover a wide range of areas, including aircraft production. That's what we get. Sustainment, weapon system support, and space-related programs. So Boeing is working directly with space-related programs. Department of Defense is a major client. The Department of Defense is a major client. Do y'all understand that? Anything that they make in the private sector dealing with like selling planes to companies, that has nothing on selling directly to the Department of Defense, the DOD, Department of Defense. But Boeing also works with NASA as well and other agencies. So that's why they're not canceled. So don't be surprised because they're not canceled. Don't be surprised. I'm trying to look up some of these contracts. It says and there's some contracts that we will have no idea about, so they're not going to be public information. But key contract examples from Boeing: a $23.8 billion contract, a C-17 Globemaster 3. I think somebody mentioned that in the comments. Sustainment. They got a $5 billion contract, ground-based mid-course defense, etc. So they got all kind of crazy little contracts going on, and some are known and some are unknown. So that's why they have not been canceled. Lawrence, you said, live by integrity. Do what's right, even when no one is watching. Always, Lawrence. That's what I live by, man. That's what I live by. Daryl, we get to fly in the budget cut material. Yes, agree, Daryl, for sure. We are flying with the budget cuts. Now let's come over to the charts right quick. Let's go ahead and look up and see what the price of Boeing is. Let's go look at the market. Let's come over here. We were just looking at Lockheed Martin. Now let's come to look up Boeing. And Boeing is trading on the New York Stock Exchange. They got different type of stocks. I'm assuming those are options contracts or bonds. But they're definitely trading on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's click it. It's currently trading at $200 per share. Let's go out to the 3-month time frame and look at the history of Boeing. And there you go. That's the history of Boeing. If you just zoom all the way out, you get the full entire history, 3-month time frame. Boeing has been around since 1968. Back in 1968, the price of Boeing was $2.85 per share. Could you imagine that back in 1968? You get what I'm saying? 1968. And today's price is $200 per share. Now, somebody just mentioned, I'm surprised they're not canceled or they're still around. Well, they did have a crazy little crash back in the year 2020. Y'all see that flash crash in 2020? So y'all tell me in the chat, people that are familiar with that, what happened in 2020 to make Boeing crash like that? What the hell happened in 2020 during the pandemic? But the high of Boeing was $446. So could you imagine buying Boeing stocks back in 1968 and holding it all the way to about 2019 when it hit $446 per share? And now it's currently trading at $200 per share. I'm sure a lot of people took profit. A lot of people took that equity and put it into other things, other assets. That's the game. That's the game. Gabrielle, you said COVID-19. Oh, yes. See, thank you. That's why I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I appreciate every one of y'all that are participating. But yes, 2019, everything crashed in the market. And one reason people stopped flying, right? People stopped flying during that time. So people had stopped flying. I was flying, but it was still cautious. But 2020, stock market crashed, or definitely Boeing crashed. And a lot of people stopped flying, and that stock took a direct hit. Now, how many people shorted that? So I think differently. I see opportunity of it going higher and it going lower, but that's exactly why it traded lower and went down. So that's Boeing. So do you see how I can just talk about just everyday shit and connect it to the markets? Just think about it. Everything, somebody right now is watching this from an iPhone. Somebody watching this from a Google phone. We can go look at each one of those individual companies. So everything is tied into the markets, even warfare. You get what I'm saying? Even government. Everything we can tie it all the way back to the financial markets. That's why we're talking about these different topics. Everything involves money. Everything, the money is moving. Follow the money, smart money. What is the smart money doing? That's why I title some of these live streams Follow the Money, because they're moving money around, and it's all based on algorithmic price action. But let's come over here to the crypto market. Let's go ahead and give some updates on XRP. We got 14 days left to complete the month of June. 14 days left. No, my bad. Yes, 14 days left. The quarter ends. 1 second. Let me drop down to the monthly. Yeah. So the quarter ends. The first half of the year ends. The quarter ends, and then the month ends in 14 days. So all those 3 days, or those 3 times in price, will come to an end. So we're anticipating the first half of the year in, and then we're gonna go into the second half. We're leaving the second quarter, going into the third quarter. And then we're ending the month of June, going into July. So we're anticipating all that. There's nothing much going on in price. You can see us just consolidating around. Nothing exciting, right? Unless you're a day trader. If you're a day trader, there's always opportunity. But I'm going to say that for today. I'm not going to go into in-depth price action. We're not going to look at advanced trading concepts today. We're just going to keep it from a macro perspective. Today, we're talking about war and conflict, the status of the economies, commodities. We're talking about all these different things. So cryptocurrency, y'all tell me in the chat, for the ones that keep up mainly, what are some things that we have coming up? I think we have the what legislation, what bills? Do we have bills being passed this week? Y'all let me know in the chat. What's coming up this week that's significant in crypto, in the crypto market, when it comes to legislation? What's the next thing that we are waiting for? Okay, Gabrielle, I appreciate the participation. The Genius Bill vote in Senate on Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to be keeping up with that. We're going to lock into that. Scott, so we got the Genius Bill, stablecoin bill is being voted on Tuesday. That's the same bill. Okay, so I haven't been locked in like I should be, because I'm clearly doing other shit, like watching these markets, looking for day trading opportunities, etc. But I use the community to keep up with it. After it passes, do y'all say the Senate? Then it goes to the president. Am I correct? After it goes through the Senate, then it goes to the president, right? And the markets are reflecting this. If y'all can't tell, the crypto market is reflecting this. Okay, it goes to the House next. Y'all say, are they supposed to be deciding on an ETF as well? I'm sure, but we definitely need to get those bills passed. We need to, let me see right quick. Do I need to go to ChatGPT? Let's go to ChatGPT. If y'all not utilizing artificial intelligence in your day-to-day, I don't know what you're doing. Definitely start implementing it. so you can be familiar with it. Give me the latest news on crypto legislation. And I think I misspelled legislation, but that's okay. I'm not the smartest man in the room. And here we are. Look at ChatGPT. Spit it out for me. Just like that. Nothing to it. United States. So it's covering different countries or markets. The Europe and UK and the United States. Pretty much the Western countries. So we got the Genius and Clarity Act moving forward. Okay. And there's that article right here. Let me select that right quick. And this was published on Friday, I believe. Crypto Brief, etc. I'm not going to read all this. I might read it later. But ChatGPT is going to break it down for me. We got the Genius Act in the Senate. Y'all telling me on Tuesday. And the Clarity Act in the House. So the Clarity Act is ahead of the Genius Act. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. That's a big deal. I mean, that's what I mean. And they are both advancing rapidly. Genius recently passed a key procedural vote in the Senate, 68-30, and awaits a final vote. The Clarity Act designates the CFTC as the primary crypto regulator. And I've been saying that these crypto assets, XRP, Bitcoin, they're going to be commodities like I'm looking at oil, like I'm looking at gold. Shout out to y'all that are early investors into this because y'all, I don't hold on. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm talking about different shit. Unless you want to start day trading, y'all tune out, y'all tap out. We need to get this passed by, and then y'all can start popping bottles, celebrating once these. I think once these pass, start popping the bottles. Once especially the Clarity Act, the Stablecoin Act, start popping bottles, and don't do it just yet. But when these things pass, pop bottles, celebrate, go take a vacation, and go to a bar somewhere and say, this is on me. Buy somebody random a drink and be like, oh, hey, this is on me. And they're going to be like, why? I mean, thank you, but why? Just say it's on me. But the Clarity Act designates the CFTC as the primary crypto regulator and classifies stablecoins use, making a major shift in authority. So we need that pass. We're almost close. Donald Trump said he want all this shit at his desk. Hopefully he remains stress-free from this war shit. Hopefully he remains stress-free from all this war talk so he can get his ass in that fucking house, in the White House or wherever he gonna be at to sign these bills. And he don't be so stressed out and change his mind, which I don't think he's gonna do. But he said he wanted this on his desk by August, and this shit is moving rapidly. We're not far from August, y'all. We have July, then August. So let's go ahead and complete out this next 14 days for June. And then we have July, and then we're going to roll over into August. And then that's going to be an exciting time. And we pretty much betting on the outcome of the world. Scotty, you said the SEC gives okay for the spot ETFs. Gabrielle, June 16th deadline for Ripple SEC joint request to Court of Appeals for case settlement. Oh, that's a big deal. That's this week then, right? Oh, what today is? I keep mixing up the days. Today is the 15th, so that's tomorrow. Deadline for Ripple joint request for appeals. Casey, July is the ISO 222 switchover. So that's next month. So here we are. We are at the finish line. We've been here for years. At least I have. I've been here for years. 2020. I've been in crypto since 2017 though. But 2020 is when I went all in. And, you know, I was also learning how to trade, learning technical analysis at the same time. I spent 3 years in the trenches, some dark days learning technical analysis. That's why I'm proficient in the way I'm doing it now. If y'all want to learn to do that, sign up to the Patreon. Link is in the description. But while I was in the trenches learning this skill set, I was acquiring XRP with my newfound skill. So in 2020, that's when I was going all in, and here we are, 2025. And I never got emotional. I've been frustrated. I've been frustrated because damn, you know what I'm saying? How long can they manipulate price? Because to be honest, I never seen anything like it, to be honest. I never been through nothing like this. So You know what I'm saying? Like it was eye-opening, but the price was heavily manipulated. And how long could they manipulate price? And it's still being manipulated, but we're at a different phase now. We're at that $2 range. Imagine being in there at 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents for years. And now we here, and we've been through this before by it ranging $2. It might drop down to $1.60 and whatnot. I'm gonna go over here in a minute, but we've been here. Superhero Hey, shout out to y'all. Shout out to my new subscribers as well. If y'all just joining, y'all new to my channel, y'all subscribe to the channel. We over here kicking it. We talking about all kind of stuff. I'm mainly a technical analyst. I'm a specialist at that. I'm a specialist. I'm very confident in what I do. That's because I'm trained to go. I'm trained to go when it comes to price action in markets and trading, etc. I'm a trader first, but we also cover long-term investing, etc. So if y'all are interested in that, sign up to the Patreon. Link is in the description. But Superhero Hayes, you said 180 days from January 23rd is actually July 22nd, right before Congress goes on break, just before August. Okay. Yep. Scotty, if the ETFs were going to go live, when did they know? And load up on XRP to satisfy those ETF shares. I don't know where people getting that. I think that's a misconception, y'all. Like, I see a lot of that where people are saying, and a lot of these YouTube content creators, they are misguiding people. Buying ETFs does not have impact on price. I get what y'all saying though. They have to hold the ETF shares to satisfy their clients. So in order to provide ETFs to their clients, banks or institutions have to load up on the ETF. I mean, the actual product. I understand that. But when it comes to price action and price discovery, that comes from the derivatives, the futures markets. So don't get it confused. I'm just setting it out there. But let's see. Stablecoin framework evaluation. The Stablecoin Act and Genius Act offer similar regulatory frameworks for stablecoins, setting rules around one-to-one reserves, audit requirements, no interest payouts, and licensing threshold. Genius imposes a $10 billion threshold before federal licensing kicks in, while Stables allows indefinite state-level oversight. Ooh. Pro-crypto executive actions. President Trump signed Executive Order 14178 on January 23rd, 2025, banning U.S. CBDC development and requiring federal regulatory framework within 180 days. He also launched a strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile on March 6, 2025, channeling government-held crypto into national reserve. Regulator shakeups and enforcement changes. The SEC has onboarded crypto-savvy leadership in June 2025. Meanwhile, enforcement efforts have softened. We all know that. No more Gary Gensler. The SEC suits against Binance was dropped in late May, and we're also waiting for that Ripple lawsuit to be dropped. That shit needs to be over with. My God. Europe and UK. The EU. Shout out to the people in Europe. And good morning as well. Good morning to the people in the UK. EU is fully deployed. Under MiCA, Coinbase, Gemini, Crypto.com, and OKX are obtaining licenses across EU nations. Luxembourg and Malta are leading through concerns remain about oversight capacity. That's in the EU. In the UK, ETP access expanded. So that's exchange trading product. The FCA is considering easing retail investors through rules around crypto exchange traded products. ETPs align with the EU standards through experts say it'll have limited impact. And in the global trends, what I just read earlier was Vietnam is bringing digital assets under formal regulatory control. So Vietnam is getting involved with digital assets. And then the OCDS crypto asset reporting framework will come into effect in the EU by January 2026. So that's interesting. Okay, so that's a quick summary. That's a quick summary of what's the latest news in crypto legislation. So we got some big weeks, big months to come, and we almost at the finish line. It's going to be interesting in the fourth quarter of 2025. It's going to be interesting in that fourth quarter. Let me read these comments. Scotty, steaks and eggs. You said, I thought price comes from the supply and demand. No, Scotty, no, it doesn't. And I've gone over this many times. I don't think you have been in my live. I have a video that I always refer to. I'm not going to do it today. I've done it in lives. The video comes directly from the former CFTC chairman. He publicly says price action, price discovery comes from the derivatives market. So, for example, the price of oil doesn't actually come from the price of oil. It doesn't come from supply and demand on the open market. The price of oil comes from the futures markets, the derivatives price of oil. Same with gold. Gold should be actually higher. Oil should be actually higher than what it's actually trading at, right? But no, it's controlled by derivatives products. That's because that allows, for example, if you're just joining, go back and watch the live stream. I dropped a lot of dimes at the beginning of the live stream. Go back and watch my live stream. At the beginning of the live stream, we went over oil prices rising because of the conflict in the Middle East. So I walked y'all through the charts and I showed you how you could take advantage right now trading oil futures, profiting off of the conflict over in the Middle East. And I showed you a trade example of what that looked like. So just go back and watch the live stream of me showing you how I think it was like $9,000 on one contract that I showed you. So people, corporations don't own physical oil. There's no way for them to hold the oil. So for example, JP Morgan or Amazon or whatever companies are out there that want to buy oil, they're not going to buy oil. Where they're going to store that shit at? Where they're going to store oil at? Do they have reservoirs? Do they have tanks, silos? They'll store oil? No, they don't. So the other option would be to speculate on oil. That's exactly what they do. So the same thing with crypto, the same thing with all markets. Price discovery comes from the underlying asset derivatives. Ed, USDC officially launched on XRP Ledger. Yes, that's a big news as well. I think that's kind of going under the radar as well. That launching on the XRP Ledger brings 2 stable coins to the ledger. So that's a big deal. I covered that yesterday. Superhero Hayes, my bet, bills will be passed and he's signaling it July 4th. Makes for a good storyline for crypto rules. That's a good bet, Superhero Hayes. Jay Manson, what's good, boss? Shout out to you, Jay Manson. You kind of late to the game, Jay Manson. You normally here early, but it's all good. Definitely go back and watch this one. I think this one was a good, interesting live stream. I'm not going to end it. I'm about to end it shortly, but I'm gonna go over a few more things. Scotty, okay, so the more people trade the futures, the higher the price of the asset. Not necessarily, Scotty. It's not about the more people trading. If you don't know, these markets are controlled. And Scotty, you've been here. You know I go over this all the time. These markets are controlled. They all markets are controlled, right? So they're not going to just let it, just because more retail come into the futures market and want to buy a certain market, for example, oil or Bitcoin or whatever. Just because retail comes into these markets and decide to influx buy orders in the market, they're not going to just push it higher. Retail have nothing to do with supply and demand. Retail can't move the markets. These markets are controlled. They're algorithmic. They're controlled by central banks. They're controlled by market makers. Whoever those entities are, they control the markets, okay? So they're not going to allow for it to just push higher because everybody see, oh, there's conflict in the Middle East. Let's all go buy oil and push the price higher. No. They're going to allow you the opportunity to speculate on oil. And that's where you got to become a specialist. Me, I'm a specialist. And I know how to get in there and take advantage of short-term volatility. And if y'all want to learn how to be a specialist, subscribe to my Patreon. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm looking at XRP. we're waiting for all these narratives. So as you can see, all the institutional capital has left the market. And when I say institutional capital, only institutions can drive and move price, okay? Only institutions can push price either higher or lower. Retail, corporations, they cannot push price. Even though corporations can be considered institutions, they don't have enough money to move these markets around. Not even governments have enough money to push these markets around. Only central banks and higher entities can push these prices around, okay? So right now, look at the bodies of the candles. Y'all can see the clear consolidation in price. This is a monthly time frame. We have 14 trading days left. Where is the volume? When we're analyzing price, the volume in the market can be determined by the bodies of the candles. The volume is inside of the candles, as you can see. You can see the explosion, expansion candles. This candle right here back in November 2024 had a lot of volume coming in, pushed by institutions, pushing price higher. You see that? It's in the bodies of the candle. And then they continue to push it higher, expanding higher. Okay. We eventually went to the all-time high. Smart money offloaded their long positions. Okay. And then they retraced price back down lower. There's also short sellers trading, pushing price lower. When I say short sellers, I'm talking about institutional capital, selling the market back down lower to a discount. It went down to a discount back in April of this year. They gave you a buying opportunity at a deep discount at 161, okay? And ever since then, price has been consolidating sideways. And then look at the past 4 months. Not much at all. Very quiet. Just a lot of whipsawing up and down, up and down. But when the candles close, when the candles close and the bodies of the candles aren't large, those are considered indecisive candles, okay? Those are considered indecisive candles. It didn't show a willingness to go higher or lower. So the entire month, they just manipulated price back and forth, getting buyers and short sellers trapped in the market and being indecisive. That's exactly what's going on. So we're waiting for the quarter to close. If we go out to the 3-month time frame for XRP, and this applies to all crypto markets, this candle right here closes in 14 days. That's the end of the second quarter. And then after that close in 14 days, we will open up the third quarter 2025. And we will also open up in the second half of 2025. So if we go out to a 6-month time frame, on the 6-month time frame, we have 14 days left to close this 6-month candle. Every one of these candles takes 6 months to complete, okay? 6 months to complete. It's been a very long time, 6 months. And then we're going to roll over to the second half of the year. And I'm already going to highlight what's potentially forming, which I'm already ahead of this. Y'all should be aware of this as well. We have a 6-month fair value gap forming after this candle closes, highlighted in the gray. Let me remove the 3-month fair value gap in the orange. Boom, just like that. So as I highlight this 6-month fair value gap, look at the potential targets that price can potentially trade down to. Okay, we're going to get this candle closed. We're going to take notice of this wick right here. We already know that's a ghost pool. Inside of this wick low, there are significant price levels that we can use. Y'all seen me do that before. Also, we got this large BISI. BISI stands for buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. It's a discount in price. It's a void in price. So when price expanded higher, it left a void in price. So what would an algorithm want to do? It wants to come down to make it efficient. In that process of it coming down to make it efficient, it's going to offer you a discounted opportunity. When that discounted opportunity presents itself, that's when you become a sniper. That's when you look for a precision strike. We're going to look for a precision strike. And if it does that, we got the top of the fair value gap at $1.61. We got $1.39. And then we got the midway point of the fair value gap, $1.17. And hopefully it doesn't go down that low. If it does, then think of it like this. If price sells off, there's somebody on the other side shorting price. and profiting from price. So people like me, we don't panic from that. We're going to take advantage whether it's going higher or lower. There's money to be made on both sides of the market, especially as XRP futures have gone live. That allows you the ability to buy and sell the market. So I'm gonna give you the scenario here in a minute. Let me pull up XRP futures. Let's go to the CME XRP contract right here. This is the contract for June. This is the June contract. So you already can see price on the weekly time frame selling off. Y'all tell me in the chat, what is this right here? Y'all tell me in the chat, what is this? This is the futures contract. They're month to month, so they expire at the end of the month. What is that right there in the chat? There you go. Shout out to you, Daryl. That is a volume imbalance. You see that? Volume imbalance. Shout out to you, Gabrielle. So when price opened up right here and traded up and went inside of that volume imbalance, is that random or is that algorithmic? That's your shorting opportunity right there. Boom. Just like that. You set a limit order at the bottom. So let me put it together for y'all. For y'all people that are concerned, this is the spot asset right here. This is when you go to your exchange or your broker and you accumulate the spot price, the digital asset XRP. You buy that asset on an exchange and then you got access to the keys. If you don't know, cryptocurrencies, these tokens, if you don't own the tokens, you don't have access to the network. That's how it goes. You can't access the network without the tokens. So we buy the tokens. A lot of y'all buy the tokens and y'all long-term holders or investors. But once you purchase the asset, you send them directly to your cold wallet. So, okay, now we're just riding this out long-term, just like I showed you with Lockheed Martin and the other stock market stocks, how long-term they were. Which one was it? I just looked at it. But one of them went live in 1968 and in 2025. That's Boeing, my bad. Boeing. It went live in 1968 at $2 and then it went to a $400 price point at some point. And that was a very long-term position. For those people that have been in it for decades, they're still holding on to it. That's what I'm trying to get at. So the same thing for this right here. The same thing is for XRP. You better believe it's in its early days of inception. This is a long-term investment. So stop trying to worry about getting rich today. It's not going to happen. Not right now, at least. XRP, the digital asset, is a long-term investment. You even heard this from David Schwartz. You heard this from Brad Garlinghouse. This is a long-term investment. But now they have came out with regulated products for us to speculate whenever the price sells off. So we're looking at this from a long-term perspective. But when we want to speculate a little bit on the price of XRP, and you learn this skill set and you become a specialist like me, then you can go in there and speculate on shorting this. And there we go. Here we are in the spot in the futures market for XRP futures. There goes a shorting opportunity. We're going to enter right there at the bottom of the fair value gap, and we're going to take a short. Okay. So for example, this candle trades up into that. We execute our entry, and then we're going to look to take profit at a old low. So right there, that's our take profit. Okay. Let me highlight that. That's our take profit. Sell side liquidity. That's what we call it. Sell side liquidity. Underneath that low are pending orders where smart money can offload their long positions. So you accumulate it up here. Now let me draw a Fibonacci, and this is a weekly time frame. So this would be a swing trade. This is not a day trade right here that I'm showing y'all. This is considered a swing trade. So I'm gonna take a short position. I'm gonna lay it right there at the top of the bottom of the fair value gap, and I'm gonna draw down to this swing low right there. My stop loss is gonna be right here. Boom. A real tight stop loss. So that is, let's see, that is 532 ticks. So let's put some math behind it. And you already can see, now I'm gonna ask y'all this. We just began a new weekly candle. Right here, you see the current candle? I'm gonna tell y'all in the chat. I'm gonna ask y'all in the chat. What side of the market, we want to determine the bias. So what side of the market do y'all see this week reach for? Do we reach down for previous week's low, or do we want to come up and take out the previous week's high? Y'all tell me in the chat, what side of the market do y'all see the current candle for the week reaching for? Does it go down lower to take out sell side liquidity, or does it want to come up and take out buy side liquidity? There you go, Jay Manson. My bias is lower. Okay, previous low, reach for low. So it's unanimous that we want to see price come down, take out sell side liquidity. Okay, so we're speculating. We're not looking at the spot market. Our bags are packed. We've been in this for years. We're packed, but now we can speculate and make more profit. We can start cash flowing. So this market right here is for cash flowing. So this is a swing trade. We're looking to take 532 points on this swing trade. That's 11%, 11.3% on this trade right here. They tell you to get 5% per year in in traditional markets, right? 5 to 10% per year or whatever they tell you. But on this one trade, it might take you 1-2 weeks. It's going to take you 2 weeks to get down here for 11%. So traditional financial advisors get you 5% per year. Traders get you 11% in 2 weeks. Y'all see the difference? It's a whole different ball game. So let's put the math behind it. Let's come over to the CME, and we've done this many times. Let's come over to the CME. Let's go down to cryptocurrency, and we're gonna go to look up XRP right here. Boom, XRP, and we're gonna go to the XRP futures contract right here. XRP M5, that's the current contract. If you want to confirm it, come over to come back over here. Where is it at? Right here. See the top left-hand corner? It says XRP M 2025. So that's the current contract. It lines up with the CME. This is the current contract. We're going to go to specs. We're going to scroll down. For every tick, so right here, for every tick, that's $5 per contract. Y'all get it? Every tick, that's $5 per tick. Okay? So let's come back over here to the futures contract for XRP. On this particular trade, we're aiming, a lot of y'all told me y'all bias is bearish. Y'all want to see price sell off. Our objective will be this low right here, sell side liquidity. I want to see it drop down and take out the previous 2 weeks low, okay? We got sell side liquidity from last week. We got sell side liquidity from 2 weeks ago. That's our objective. If price decides to go down there and reach for that, that's 532 ticks. So put the math behind it. Y'all tell me in the chat, how much is that in profit? How much is that in profit? 532 ticks. Every tick is $5. So there you go. 2660 $2,660 on this particular trade. We're not concerned about, we're bored. First, okay, let's go back. We're bored with this right here. This is the spot market. This is the futures contract for XRP. We're bored with this. It's not doing nothing. We're waiting for the quarterly close. We're waiting for the half of the year to close. We're waiting for the month to close. So price ain't really doing nothing unless you go down to lower time frames. You start speculating and go down to the weekly. You can see on the spot market, you can see we're opening up the new week. It's slightly different from the derivatives, but it's still going to play out the same. And as you can see, I got a ton of liquidity resting below price. I'm bearish for the week. My bias this week is bearish. We can range inside of this range and not take out any of no liquidity. We don't have to go up and take out previous week's high nor low, but I'm always going to seek liquidity, and I want to see it drop down to clean this out. Okay, we're eventually going to drop down and clean all of this out because there's orders, there's people trying to speculate and go long when clearly price is bearish. So in order to do that, you come over here, futures market. That's $2,660 that you're looking to trade. Now, let's say you're somebody with a lot of capital. Okay, let's say you're an institution. Like institutions can get in there, and let's just do a hypothetical right quick. Let's just speculate. Okay, you could be either a high net worth individual or you could be a big corporation or institution. Let's just say you're working with a lot of equity. Let's say you got $10 million. Okay. Let's say you got $10 million in a brokerage account. And let's just say you want to trade 100 contracts. So y'all do the math on that, because you can do that in futures market. Ain't no limit. It's just based on your equity. Let's just say you want to trade 100 contracts of XRP futures. You're speculating that this week it will go lower. Y'all tell me in the chat, 100 contracts times 5 times, this is how you do it. 5 times 532, and then you multiply that by 100. Not 132, but 532. Boom. There y'all go. Y'all on point. I appreciate y'all being on point. So there y'all go. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're somebody, a high net worth individual, if you're a large institution, it's nothing to go in there to bank $266,000. You don't even need $10 million in your brokerage account. You need less than that. You actually need about $500,000 or to $1 million. Okay. So let's just say you got $1 million in a brokerage account and you have the equity to go in here and trade this market. This is the market, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, this is what goes on. I don't think a lot of y'all might believe this. The derivatives market, y'all do know that, right? Y'all know the derivatives market is the largest market out there. So with that being said, that's where most of the capital is flowing in all of these markets. They're flowing through the derivatives market. So it's realistic to go in there, depending on your equity, to make $266,000 in 2 weeks. That's people. Okay, so if you're somebody with, y'all tell me in the chat, $1 million, that's 11% return. So 1 million times 11.34%. What do y'all get? Let me do the math. Something's off. I'm doing something wrong. Okay, I'm doing something wrong. But on this particular futures trade, if you had $1 million in your brokerage account and you was to trade 100 contracts, there you go. I forgot what I just had, but y'all are right. But if you're somebody with $1 million in the contract, let's say you got $10 million in equity, you deploy $1 million into your brokerage account, you start going in the market, it's realistic to go ahead and bank that type of money in 2 weeks. But then that's most people's salaries. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't never see that in a year. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't see that in a year. But there's individuals out here doing that in 2 weeks time frame. And I'm sitting here showing you the possibilities. This ain't, you can go play with this if you want. You can test it out yourself. I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all. So with that being said, if y'all are interested in signing up to the Patreon, the future signals are coming. We're going to be going over this same type of trading in different assets, different markets. So y'all be prepared for that. I will announce when it goes live, but if y'all want to start preparing. So if y'all are interested in this, I'm going to tell y'all how to start preparing. Go ahead and go to like TradingView. If y'all sign up with TradingView, get y'all a little subscription on TradingView, and y'all want to go to where it says the brokers. You want to go to brokers. And you want to go to, you see the top, I have stars at the top row. All of these brokers offer futures. Some of them Forex, but most of them are futures brokers. Y'all go ahead. It's free to sign up with these brokers. They're regulated and they're integrated with TradingView. So go ahead and sign up directly with these brokers and get it out the way. Even if you decide not to do the signal service with me, you still have access to futures products for the rest of your life. So it's nothing to sign up with these brokers and set up an account. It's no different than signing up with Coinbase. It's no different than signing up with Uphold. It's the same process. They're going to KYC you, then you open up an account, and then you deposit money into the account, and that gives you access to futures products. So y'all can go ahead and be doing this ahead of time before I go live with the signal service. So y'all definitely knock that out if y'all are interested. Now, when you sign up for the future the signal service, I will have tutorial videos walking through the process of doing that. So if you decide not to do it ahead of time, then we will have videos walking through that. So Y'all definitely be on the lookout. Also, if y'all not sign up for the private lessons as well. Sign up for the private the lessons if y'all want to learn the fundamentals of technical analysis. So go to the Patreon. Link is in the description if y'all want to learn the fundamentals to what I do and what I show y'all on this channel. But we got a big week. We got some big months coming up. I appreciate y'all joining. I always look forward to doing this and seeing y'all show up. And I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Father's Day. Shout out to the fathers out there. But until next time, peace out.